Well, hello there, beautiful. I believe that an excessive amount of emotional processing is the biggest reason why many incredibly gifted entrepreneurs have yet to translate their power, their skills, and their wisdom into the business success and the impact that they know they're here for. So in this live, I want to talk about when emotional processing is completely useless, why I believe many of us, myself included in the past, have fallen into this trap, and what the much better alternative is. On a side note, I will be hosting a workshop in about 2 weeks called Highest Vision, where I will be guiding you into operating from your highest vision rather than the places inside of you that are not yet healed. If you want access to that, if you want the infos, then drop the word vision in the comments and I'll send it your way. So, as I said in the very beginning, an overly too much focus on emotional processing is what is holding so many people that I so value for their wisdom, what's holding them back from having the impact they're here to have. And I can share this from my own past, that having the background that I have in psychology and therapeutic modalities, I was in this loop for a very long time as well. And it's almost like when you're in it, you don't know that that's a loop because you don't know that there's a better alternative. And you believe that constantly being in process and constantly noticing all the parts inside of me that are not yet fully healed and fully expressed, and focusing very much on becoming, on the things that are moving inside of me, it's a very big way of not stepping into my being, of stepping into a way of being present where everything is already perfect and in place where it needs to be. And from my perspective, one of the biggest reasons why many people in, we can say, my community, if you're here, you're probably part of that, like spiritually, somatically oriented communities, why we can fall into overly emotional processing is because we've come into a world that expresses certain masculine qualities of power, of focus, of discipline, of force in a way that did not feel aligned at all. So the counter reaction to that is just not embodying that masculine quality that says, this is what we're doing right now, this is our focus. Because we've experienced that being used in a hurtful way, we're just not embodying it, which is not the most evolved response to it. The most evolved response is to embody the healthy expression of that. And the healthy expression of this masculine, from my perspective, is I choose when my focus goes into emotional healing, emotional processing, focusing on something unhealed, and when I focus on something else. And that something else, for me, my North Star, hello Elizabeth, my North Star is my highest vision. My North Star is what I want to bring into this world. My North Star is what I desire the most to feel, experience, and share with other people. And that has a bigger focus and importance from my perspective or from my experience than a constant emotional processing. And there's a masculine, a yang quality in there that is about choosing my focus. Now, one other reason I believe many of us have gotten into the loop of overly emotional processing is because we can use these qualities that I just shared, like, hey, I can shift my focus on something that is meaningful for me. We can use that in a way to bypass things that we actually need to look at. We can use that in a way where it feels violent and where it pushes away certain parts of our experience. And that is not what I'm talking about here. There is a way of using my focus, using my awareness to be oriented towards what really matters to me in a way that doesn't push away my experience. And that is what I call the integration or the alchemy of power and love. Just because I choose to put my focus onto something does not mean I reject something else. It's just emotional processing simply does not need to be center stage of my experience constantly. There is a way to let emotional processes and changes inside of me be there while I'm oriented towards something else. And that for me requires a healthy integration of masculine qualities. Now, as I said, what I believe is necessary for emotional processing to have its right place is I need to have a different North Star. If my North Star is constant emotional processing, well, then I will constantly be in emotional processes. If my North Star is my highest vision, if my North Star is what I truly am here to create and to bring into this world, then yes, emotional processes will absolutely still be here. But they will be, I will have a direction in my life. I will be moving towards something, and in that process, things will come up, and that's completely fine. But this is where it stops being a loop that I'm stuck in. It's simply an expression of, oh, I'm heading towards something, I have a vision, and I want to bring that into this world. And then as part of that, old things will surface inside of me that are not in alignment with my highest vision to be released, to be let go of. So we can say there is like, emotional processes will never stop. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we need to find the right place for them. And for me, when I'm dedicated towards my highest vision and I connect to it on a consistent basis, not just mentally, but like physical on all levels, but just like if I embody that, then emotional processes get a different place. And it's a practice of focus and attention to become clear on when is it actually helpful to make the emotional process center stage, which sometimes can be the case. And in other times, I just allow things to surface, but I stay connected to what I want to create more of. Because as I shared in a recent live, what we focus on grows. So if I'm constantly focusing on the next emotional process, well, that's what's going to keep growing. That's what I'm going to receive more of. It's almost like I'm saying with my awareness, I want more of this. And this is the thing that's missing in a lot of spiritually, somatically oriented communities that have understood that we don't just want to push away our emotions, is that what we focus on grows. And so if I don't have the highest vision that I consistently focus on as a North Star, obviously that cannot grow. So all that is to say that there's nothing wrong with emotions coming up. It will always be part of the journey. But it, from my perspective, is not useful and not helpful if it's the center thing in my life that I'm orienting towards. Because I'm just getting, like, if that's my biggest focus in my life, I will just get more of that, which is not what I'm here for. And I believe also you're not here just to experience more emotional processes. Okay? So highest vision for me is what helps me put emotional processes into a very different context where it will still show up, but it will not be the main thing that I will be focusing on. If you feel like there's something for you in this that you want to learn more about, I will be hosting a workshop called Highest Vision in about 2 weeks, where I will guide you into an experience of how that can look like. How does it feel to embody your highest vision and operate from that place rather than operating from the place of being in process. We could say the difference is, am I focusing on my being that includes my highest vision, and I embody it in this present moment as if it were already true, because on some level it is, or am I constantly focusing on my becoming, which we could say in one way is emotional processes. So this has completely transformed my life in the past months, and I'm so excited to be sharing this workshop. I believe this is going to be the most powerful workshop that I've ever created.